Hey y'all, got a bit of a tongue twister for y'all. We're gonna be looking at the intricate intentionality of identity. Yeah. Freud, black people, the superego. What kind of alchemical mixture are we making? Stick around and watch this video. We're gonna talk about identity today. So I will see y'all in class. Now, let's talk about Freud. He gets a very bad rap, and he might not be the best friend of black people, right? However, there are some universal truths to a lot of things that he states. And one of them that has carried over and hasn't been negated is the superego. What is that? Well, the superego is basically a part of your personality, and he had three parts that he talked about: the ego, the id, and the superego. And the superego works in tandem to create your personality. And how he describes the superego and how we're supposed to look at it is the costs and benefits of the decisions that you make. So the superego is basically going to dictate what actions you take, what steps you take, what do you keep, what do you toss out. So that could be your parents. That could be, okay, if your household respects academics, you're going to be rewarded for being studious. You're going to be punished for not being so. So that is going to be integrated into your identity, whether intentionally or unconsciously, based on that environment, because that environment is rewarding you for your studious habits. So just naturally, nobody wants to live in an environment under punishment. So whether that's a natural thing for you or an unnatural thing for you, you're going to do it because that's what you're being rewarded for. That's the superego. You're looking at what the people around you are going to accept. What are they going to punish you for? And then you act based on that. So thinking about that in terms of young black children, if I'm growing up and all I hear is people saying, oh, well, you can't dress like those guys from hip hop because you could never get a job. Or you can't wear that afro because, they're going to look at you and think you're going to be a problem. So, or you're that young black girl, oh, you got to straighten your hair in order to look professional, right? If you remember the young black female gymnast, Gabby Douglas, who was tearing up the scene, right? And doing exceptionally well in a highly competitive and physically strenuous sport, gymnastics. Now, she did an interview and there was this huge buzz about her hair, how unkempt it looked, how terrible bad it looked, right? And this is a young girl competing in sports. We don't know at what point this interview was taken. We don't know what the circumstances were, but black hair, especially for females, is always under attack. So if you're a young black female, impressionable, want to please the people around you, and they say, oh, you've got to, your natural hair doesn't look so great, you got to perm it. If I'm a young, impressionable black girl, am I going to embrace my natural hair while all the adults or all the people around me who I respect are telling me I need to process it, I need to perm it, I need to flatten it, I need to wear a wig in order to be accepted? So it's these types of things, these costs and benefits, that's going to now influence your identity formation. How you decide of what you're going to be. How am I going to present myself to the outside world. And that could be both physically, the here, and internally, how black will I be? So when you look at things like the extremism, or the so-called extremism of Malcolm X, people will balk at that. They'll step away from it and they'll say, whoa, he's not too palatable. The world doesn't really agree with everything he's saying. I might internally feel that a lot of what he's saying is true, but the world doesn't say he's the right person to go with. So let's go with the commercialized side of MLK Jr., right? Let's go with Booker T. Washington, right? Identity formation is very much intertwined with the superego, which, like I said before, is a cost and benefit system. What am I going to reap? What am I going to gain by doing this? What am I going to lose by doing this? What can I gain by integrating, taking this in? Or what can I gain by extricating or taking out, removing this? And these are the types of decisions that many black children are making unconsciously, right? Unfortunately, young black children don't have the luxury of just floating around in their milieu or their community spaces, their environments. They don't have that luxury to just be. They've got to be very calculated about what they do, because their behavior is always under scrutiny. They're always being watched, always being judged. I say again, like, what's intentional and what's not? What is natural and what is intentional, right? It's a very difficult question to ask. It requires a lot of soul searching. And we're going to go a little bit deeper and talk about some theories around identity formation for blacks. So stick around, come back, and check it out. Hey, and remember, never stop learning. See y'all.